Arrakis. Dune. A planet that is both a volatile desert wasteland and the most precious jewel in the universe. For it is only on Arrakis where the spice melange can be found. The spice has shaped humanity for a millennia, and it is the foundation that makes interstellar travel possible. Fortunes rise and fall as quickly as the sands shift on Arrakis. It is a place where a smile and a quiet word can cut as easily as a crysknife, and nothing is what it seems. Welcome to Dune.
All right. So, yeah, we are live. Guys, welcome back to Dune. Holy shit, it has been a little while. We've had 2 weeks off. My players have been very anxious, getting to sit and stew with what all's been going on after the dramatic events of the last game. So before we get into those details and all of what went down all over there, let us begin by introducing our players first. And I would like you also to give a brief, where is your character's head at right now, like compared to where they left off. The TLDR is basically Theron was revealed to be a face dancer. And they, the bastard son of Beast Raban, had been assassinated, and they replaced him briefly to have him die tragically in a spaceship incident, and then left. And then our good doctor was arrested for that. But then, basically, Theron promised to come back in 3 days. So yeah, let's start with Paul. Where are you at? How have things changed in those 3 days, or not changed?
Hi, everybody. I'm Paul still. I'll be playing our head of security, whose stress level is higher than it normally is. We'll put it that way. I think we'll get more feeling about how he's feeling after the first little bit of the game, so I don't want to reveal that yet. But he is more stressed and more annoyed than he normally is in his stoic self. And it will be very interesting because I will not have my Mentat friend to play off with all evening, unfortunately. So,
Yes.
Feels like he might be in this one by his lonesome for right now, and having to be pragmatic and discuss things with the air in a manner that is not going to be soft. There's no soft response to what happens here.
Yeah, sadly, Chase, the player of our fantastic Mentat, is a bit under the weather this evening and will not be able to join us. Their character will be doing, shady Mentat spy stuff in the background, probably. And yeah, let's move on then to Miss Allie. Where are you at?
Well, hi, I'm Alexandra Pitchford. I play Cassandra Lucinor, the heir of House Lucinor, and she specifically is very, very stressed. I mean, between the death of a very important political figure on her watch, essentially, under her hospitality, it's no small matter having to deal with the negotiations at the same time, try to find out who did it, try to smooth things over with everything on the political side. It's been a lot. So she's running on possibly fumes at this point. But we'll see.
All right. And finally, our wonderful agent of chaos, Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Hugh Anderson from Mondo Kane Publishing. I am playing Dr. Maharil. What have I been doing since the last episode? Rotting in a jail cell. Theron is gone, and he is feeling a little gone himself. It's been a rough 3 days.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys again for coming back. Basically, if you missed the tunnel earlier, this season, Weave the Tale is sponsored by Modifius Entertainment, who created this fantastic system that we are playing. It is called Dune, Agents of the Imperium. They also have an Arrakis book that is coming out in December that looks super awesome. One of our donation goals is running a one-shot in there, so definitely check those out too. We are also sponsored by Green Ronin Publishing, Free League Publishing, and Imagining Games. As mentioned before, we have some super neat rewards set up for retweet goals, donation goals, and sub goals. Hitting these goals helps support the cast and crew, so if you dig our work, please consider supporting us that way. Otherwise, let's get into the game. So yeah, basically you all have had, again, there have been, it has been a time of major upheaval, specifically for, your house, the two houses that, you guys are trying to resolve this rift between, and the overall political landscape is in a state of flux right now, which is not unusual for the Landsrod, because, again, where there is any sort of shift or change, that means that you can seize these vacancies to your advantages and rise or fall and be destroyed by them. So we'll see what you guys end up doing. But basically, I wanna start with bringing it to our good doctor. It has been, we are on day 3 here. And I'm assuming, Paul, this is at the start that you want to show up, or have Raul show up?
It'll be his daily. Like, Raul has been personally delivering the doctor's food every day, and it's in no one else is really engaged with him. He's been monitoring him for basic medical situations. He's clearly been vomiting and not doing well because he does things. But Raul probably hasn't said more than 5 or 6 words to him, like eat. Yeah. The basic stuff. And the doctor's known him for a while. Like, he can tell his body language is annoyed, just very much that whole annoyed. I would assume this is him dropping off the evening's food on that 3rd day. The next day his person is supposed to arrive. Okay. It's all right. It's that last his 9th meal type situation. It's been 3 days of this kind of grumbly exchanges.
Now, what kind of meals are you giving him? Like, are you giving him his standard rations? Is it prisoner's rations? Okay.
I was not told to give half rations, but he does not get like I'm fairly sure the doctor is more used to the high end things. He is getting soldier's rations. He is getting what you would feed my men. He is not getting his expensive steaks. He's not getting his privilege. Like, Raul has removed all the privilege from the doctor's life. That's very important, Raul, in this moment of no, you don't get your drugs. No, you don't get your fine wines. No, you don't get you get your cot and your pillow. This is what it's like for us this is what it's like for us on the ground when we're ground pounding. You don't get the finer things in life right now.
And then also, Shanti has been in just making sure he has, like a sailing bat or something, or the Dune equivalent set up, just to ensure that he has like those intravenous fluids so he doesn't get too dehydrated from expelling the variety of poisons that have built up in his body over time. But I will say that as you go to deliver his meal at this point, you would notice that the doctor has the trait feverish. Doctor, if you could please describe the state that you are in when Raul arrives.
Please, if you could just talk a little quieter. I've got this banging headache. It's that feeling of being cold and hot at the same time. Starting to feel a little cagey, and no one is talking to me. And when no one talks to the doctor for a long period of time, especially as sober as he is, things don't feel good. It's sleep is not really anything that I do these days. I just kind of drift in and out of consciousness, various states of loneliness, finding friends in my fingers. Oh, God, it's hot.
Raul collects the previous meal and does the classic put his food on the floor and slide it through the situation with his foot and takes the tray and turns to walk away. And then
Wait.
He doesn't. What, Doctor?
Oh, my friend, it's so good to see you again. What is that? 1, 2, 12, 11, 10. It's the 10th meal, and I think at this point I'm really starting to enjoy your cooking. One question though, just to please don't leave.
Ask your question.
If maybe a little salt or a shot of something, maybe something to kind of cut the edge just a little.
I know this is a word you're not used to hearing often, but no. And you seem to be in a place where you want to hear things. So I'm going to tell you something, and maybe you've sobered enough to let this through your drug-addled brain. You put everyone, I don't mean everyone on this ship. I don't mean everyone, I mean every worker for this house in danger. You didn't make my job hard. You didn't make my job angry. You put our Lord in danger. You stand across from me in this cell as someone who endangers the air, who endangers the people you call friends, because you couldn't think straight and follow a very simple plan. And it's great that you want to do things for the privilege of love, or the privilege of heart, or some might say for being soft. But you've always had a hard time looking at the big picture. You save a life on a table one at a time. And some of us have to look at this on a grand scale, that one misstep kills hundreds, maybe even thousands, and wipes our house from the annals of history. And maybe in your sober brain, for 15 goddamn minutes, you will get it through your skull that your actions have consequences. So no, you don't get salt. No, you don't get something to take the edge off. Maybe, just maybe, sobering up is what you need. Because you have forgotten what it means to serve in your posh, luxurious, privileged state. And hope, pray to the orange Catholic God, pray to any other God you want to follow, that your face changer comes back. Because if they don't, we all may be dead next week, and that rests on you. And if they're putting our Lord on the block, yours will be the name I curse as I leave this mortal coin. and he'll turn and he will walk out.
Yes, yes, I am a sinner. Blessings of the state, blessings of the master, my secure lord in arms. Name is Theron, by the way.
Does the doctor do anything else as he's leaving?
Yes. I take all the food and I kind of make a little basket with my shirt, and I put all the food in the bag. I just kind of dump it from the tray, and I throw it through the hole. And if there's like a little, like, I don't know if there's like a little latch or a door or something, I'm going to pathetically try to slam that from the other side, and probably hurt my fingers.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Right on. Okay, then let's cut away to Lady Cassandra, because I believe that you wanted to have a conversation with the Lady Dahlia. So basically what you would know is, again, in your downtime, you've been trying to push these negotiations, and it's been really weird because while Dahlia started at that enemy state, she has moved towards being neutral to Dimitri, and while Dimitri started at the unfriendly space, he has moved towards closer to friendly, and they, as it would be kind of strange to you almost that they actually seem to, while there's still like some petty sniping here and there and like little jabs against each other's houses, like they're not as deep cutting as they were. And also it is very much that you really get that that sensation that they are working at more things than they are purposefully looking to be obstinate anymore. So just those very give and take sort of trade deals and negotiations and stuff like that. Would you want this meeting to be a private meeting or a public meeting?
Private in this instance.
Okay. So then let's say that basically, you send her one of the dot-coded messages of like, meet me here at this hour, and we'll say you have like a little viewing area, like one of those star lounges or something, where it has a big window where the nobility can observe the stars and the beautiful orange glow of the planet Arrakis floating below you. So Dahlia is already waiting there before you arrive, and she kind of seems a bit anxious as she's waiting, but when you arrive, she just shifts back into that Prana Bindu control of just like mastering oneself. She would rise as you enter and do the my lady.
Before I say anything specifically, I want to use my passive scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
How is she feeling about being here right now? Like, how this meeting? What is the sense that I'm getting from her of her feelings on this?
Okay. I mean, again, you get that feeling that she's hiding that anxiety. But with your passive scrutiny, I would say that it seems like on top of, you know, just the overall, like, you know well enough to know that she is in the exact same position that you are. So all of the things that you are worried about right now with the death, with everything, like, you know that she could also be held culpable for those exact same things just by being on this ship when it all happened. So like you know that's all on her mind. But more than anything too, you get the that feeling that like there's also just sort of a, like, she doesn't want to let personal feelings get in the way of judgment. So there's some of that kind of anxiety, which I imagine Cassandra could also relate to.
It's a mood.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you know, that thing of like, oh, I might have to make a hard decision and I don't want to upset her. What do I do? How do I get out of this? Like those kind of feelings.
Fair enough. All right. Well, she'll, incline her head and, Lady Dahlia, thank you for agreeing to meet with me here.
Of course. How could I ever refuse a request from you?
I wanted to speak with you privately, since we hadn't previously really had the opportunity, and I wanted to get a sense of your thoughts, your feelings on everything that's happening right now. I know that all of this has been very trying, especially with the negotiations happening at the same time. Though I did note that they seem to be going perhaps a bit better than I expected at this juncture.
Yes. She would kind of, you know, sigh and just sit down and then, you know, gesture to the spot next to her for Cassandra to sit also.
She'll sit, yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where very much the the fact that it is such an informal gesture, you know, because again, under normal circumstances, you know, asking the, you know, just patting, like, without asking the lady of the house to sit first or for permission to sit would be a huge social faux pas. But like, it's clear that, you know, she feels comfortable enough with you to drop some of those formalities, and you know, she would just be like, I feel like we are obviously on the precipice of something, and all of us are being played by something, and I don't know what it is or why or how, but I need my house to endure it. Everyone is depending on me. Cassandra, I'm scared. And I know that we must master our fear, and we must pursue and go through it, and we've had all of everything, but it just, I keep going through everything and searching through all of my instincts and my feelings, and I can't, it just does not, you said it yourself, it does not seem like it was a coincidence that this disaster was caused here and now in this way. So I have to do what I can to protect myself and my house, and I can't afford to be fighting. We can't afford to be fighting on multiple fronts until we know what it is we're fighting against.
I agree. For what it's worth, I am of the honest belief that you had nothing to do with what happened. I'm not certain who did.
Of course not.
Of course. Believe me, I didn't doubt you for a moment. But yes, it is all a very, very difficult situation for all of us to be in. And I understand the desire to do what is necessary to see that your house endures. I mean, you are House Adder, after all. Enduring is what you do. I worry what might happen if too many concessions are made. That's all. For you, specifically. I know it's not precisely my place, but...
Well, no,
I don't
please. And I'm gonna give her the trait. I'm gonna say at this point that she finds you reliable, or no, trustworthy. So this will affect, like, basically the things that, you know, you say she's more likely to believe. She again, like, looks at you and, like, leans forward slightly and reaches to take your hand for a moment before she kind of, like, pulls back as if, like, oh, like, instinctually, like, she knows that's too far.
Yeah.
And just kind of, like, tries to, like, play it off with just, you know, smoothing her skirts or something like that.
Yeah. And
she,
for her part, Cassandra will pretend she didn't notice. You know, just out of respect.
Yeah, definitely. So she's just like, you know, what do you mean? Is there something I'm missing? I've been trying to have Tharja meet with learn everything she can from his second, but so far, I mean, you know, the man is a lockbox, and I don't, you know, I mean, it'll take a bit longer than we would like to pierce some of that, but I can't fail Cassandra. So
I know.
if there's something you're seeing...
Truthfully, we are taught to not simply trust our judgment, to trust the information that we can discern, but to trust what our instincts tell us. Perhaps I'm more concerned as to how much stands at stake here. I mean, House Adder, how many were you to, for instance, were you to marry the Lord of House Vesperis? What would happen to your house in the aftermath of that? I grow concerned that to endure, one must not allow themselves to be subsumed.
Yes. It is a delicate dance, and one that I admit as much as I have not been generous with the Lord of Vesperis, He is very practiced at the steps of this dance, and I find myself more than a few times being surprised at the added steps and maneuvers he's been taking. I noticed he's made a couple calls off ship, but I think he is also of the same mind that he needs to shore alliances to brave whatever is coming from our liege's decision regarding what is to happen after the death of Chadon. I have found that, I don't know if you have reached out to the other houses or not, but I know that I have very much found there have been more than a few that have just outright refused to speak with us because we are associated with this. Granted, they're all cowards, but what else is new? I don't know. I mean, if it is a choice between being wiped out completely and having my house, or at least the people who make it mine, continue to live and exist and perhaps even take over from within, I mean, that's a better option than just dying off completely, right? Unless you have something better.
I cannot disagree with that, but
and
perhaps
when
it is
she
simply
says,
the stress of this. Oh, go ahead.
when she says perhaps you have something better, it's like there is that sincere hope of please have something better.
I mean, I certainly believe that there's perhaps a way forward that would not require the loss of the identity of House Adder. It is a matter of weaving those steps in such a way that one comes out preserved, I suppose. But it is no easy thing, certainly. We all do find ourselves in a similar situation. Even House Vesperis now faces the ramifications of what happened.
Yes.
And that is something that perhaps they should not forget either. That do not let yourself be leveraged too far when they face the same consequences. That's all I'm simply saying.
You might be onto something there. Because again, if they were truly favored by our liege, the Harkonnen, in the way that we keep being told, then my house should have just been wiped out, much like the Vanderons were. Because just the
And yet
fact
they weren't.
that... Exactly. So... I mean, I just assumed it was because Lord Vesperis wanted to have another card to play, another card to use for leverage, but what if someone from the Harkonnen is aware of that and put us all together?
We all seem to be pieces on a much larger board than we can see. That does seem to always be the case. But you're not wrong. If they were truly as favored as they claim to be, I do believe that the Harkonnen simply would have given them what they desired. But clearly they see enough worth in you, in House Adder, that they are willing to take the time for these negotiations rather than simply allowing their favorite house to run roughshod over you.
I mean, we're the only ones who know how to actually make the harvesters that haven't been updated in decades at this point continue to function and be profitable, because you know how tight Lord Glosso wishes to keep his quotas.
I am aware, yes.
Anyway, is there anything further you would have of me, my lady? Because the night is growing a bit long, and surely there are many who would find it amiss if you are not in your bed.
I am certain. I do not wish to keep you. I simply wanted to gauge where you were and see if I could offer some kinder words than perhaps I did previously.
The kindness is valued to me more than I think you realize. I know that when this began, I made you an offer, and maybe I was a bit more cynical then, but I am starting to realize very much that there is when we play these games and engage in these things at such the scale, we have to seize what little happiness we can, right?
When we can, yes.
She would
Perhaps when
No, go ahead.
Perhaps when all of this is settled, we can discuss more.
I would really like that, Lady Cassandra.
That's what
And yeah, she would wait for you to rise this time first, politely, before following and doing the deferential kind of curtsy.
Have a good evening.
And you as well, my lady. So now I guess my question is, what does Cassandra do after Dahlia makes her exit? Is she going to bed? Is she going to check on the dock? Going to check in with Raul?
I think she'll check on the doctor.
Okay.
Awesome. She'll make her way down and she'll check to see how he's doing.
How is the doc doing? You're muted?
He's
I'm not
amazingly
mute.
silent.
I can speak just fine. How are you?
Doctor, how are you holding up in here?
Oh,
Doctor?
Shanti, sorry. Yes, where's the patient? I'm ready. My lady.
Yes, Doctor, are you quite all right?
Oh. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I'm just fine. I'm just fine. How I have to tell you something,
What is it?
but I don't. It's rude of me. I'm sorry. I have to remember my conditioning. How can I help you, my lady of the house?
If there's something you feel you need to say, you can say it. You will not harm me.
No, you're made of iron. I don't know if anyone has ever told you that. I don't think anything can
Oh.
hurt you.
You might be surprised. But I'm here. I am happy to listen.
I've reached prescience. Like your mother.
She'll look like extremely shocked at that. Are you certain, Doctor?
Oh, I'm certain. Yes, I am definitely certain. It is, it's definitely not the kinds of dreams that I've been having over the past 10 years. How long has it been? How long have I been here?
3 days.
Oh, that's it?
Yes. Like, she just looks
God.
bewildered at this point. She's like, you've been in this room 3 days, Doctor.
And it feels like I've lived a lifetime. Many lifetimes. 3, 5. God, it's
And
coming
again,
back.
with your the thing that gives you more information, you know the doctor has the trait feverish.
Yes, yes.
I am feverish, though, Cassandra. I'm thirsty. And I have the taste of arrakis on my mouth. Did your mother ever talk about that? A blue tasting and feeling in her throat?
A blue taste?
Oh, I'm sorry. Dry.
Dry. Ah.
Yes, that's the word.
At times, I know that she has many times called out for water. Has complained of being parched in her delirium.
Oh, it's not delirium, Cassandra. It's prescience. It takes a toll of your body's water. It's a payment. And I am very dehydrated.
I will.
You want to know what I saw?
See about. Yes, Doctor. And she'll be like, just a moment though, and she'll call Shanti. She'll be like, you might want to get in here. Shanti.
So I feel like Shanti has probably sort of low-key moved her room, like moved to a cot to some sort of like closet or something nearby, just because like she knows, like, you know, obviously doing whatever she can to stay within the security parameters set up and everything, but like very much wanting to be nearby just in case, because, you know, she has enough medical training to know an inevitable. So she you know, somebody would go, one of the guards would go to rouse her, and she comes back looking a bit disheveled more than usual, but, you know, has her version of whatever the Dune version of a lab coat is. And you know, her hair is just sort of in a messy bun piled on top of her head. She's just like, yes, my lady, what is it you would have of me this evening? It's a bit late. Is something the matter?
I came to check in on the doctor, and he seems to be a bit feverish. I'm concerned.
Oh.
He claims to have achieved prescience.
And she just kind of like fails and just doesn't really know how to take that. So she just kind of has that. Remember when she found the dead body and she just had that smile on her face? Like that's kind of the exact same thing that's happening again right now. Okay. Well, and she would kind of like look between the doctor and Lady Lucinor and just be like, may I examine the patient? Would that be amenable to you, my lady? Because I have some hypotheses, but obviously, unless I'm actually, you know, looking at him, there is not a way to confirm those hypotheses.
Of course. And at this point, she will actually contact Raul and inform him that the doctor is in kind of bad shape at the moment, and she's going to have Shanti look at him.
Define bad shape. Is he choking on his own vomit again?
He's fevered and delirious and seems to have claimed that he has achieved prescience.
Oh, so he's getting sober.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
So what happens when you feed stims into your body for years and then don't do anything about it? I've seen it in hardened combat soldiers like to stay up constantly. It's a bad habit to be in. You having Shanti check him to make sure he's not going to die, I assume?
That is my plan, yes.
Cool. I'll send 2 men down to guard the door just in case he tries to, you know, in his fevered state, take you hostage, knock you out, make a run for a shuttle. It's usually not good to open doors, people who are suddenly fevered. Would you like an extra guards in the room with you? Or would you like me to come down
that would
personally?
The guards will suffice unless you wish to view the proceedings yourself.
I said my piece to him earlier, and Shanti's checks his IV several times.
Then the guards will
suffice. I will send some minute arms down, and I will also radio down to the shuttle bay to enact extra protocols just in case the doctor decides to make a run for it.
What a good idea.
Not a problem.
But yes, you are the head of my security. I was not going to start opening prison doors without at least informing you first.
Thank you for letting me know. I have my minute arms move and put extra position guards for our lovely lady of the house, so that Shanti can come in and check in to make sure he's okay.
Okay. At this point, she'll kind of nod to...
I'll send Samuel to the shuttle bay as well, sorry.
Alright.
Personally.
She'll nod to Shanti to give the go-ahead, and to kind of distract the doctor while she's working, she'll go, "What did you see?"
Oh, Shanti. You look so young.
I am young, Doctor.
And here you stand, alive in front of my very eyes. It's good to see you alive.
she just looks at like Cassandra with a panic, like, was I not alive? Because I believe I would have noticed.
Oh no, Shanti, you were very much alive. Yes. Yes, you were.
As I am right now.
I'm glad you're safe. Oh God, have I missed you? I'm sorry.
Doctor, focus.
I was
Yes.
here a few hours ago. Do you not remember when I changed your dressings?
Oh yes, I remember everything. Everything into forever. I remember Oblivion. And I will ask you again, Cassandra, would you like to know exactly what I saw? Because I think that it would be very helpful for you and our house for this kind of information. For our house and for you.
She'll kind of just sigh heavily and go, yes. Yes, I would very much like to see that. I would very much like to hear what you saw, Doctor.
I'm not going to share everything. Some of it is private. Sorry, Shanti. But I've seen the ripples of time. I've seen endless possibilities, circles within circles, all the choices that we make. I am happy to be in this jail cell because I am afraid if I make the wrong decision, then my favorite one won't happen. It's not important. What is important is the animals in the skies that are waging a major battle. A battle in which we are all pawns. We are all cannon fodder for a great falcon and a griffin are battling for dominance in the skies. And it will destroy everything. And yet, two snakes, a viper, and an adder on the sidelines, whispering into each one of their ears. Would you like to know which one is whispering in what ear?
Yes.
The viper whispers in the falcon's ear. And the adder whispers in the griffin's. And there are small, little, tiny military men in lockstep, like little toy soldiers. And they will take down the wall and the shield of our house. And I can't let that happen, because then Theron will not be safe. And I will not be happy unless I am on Arrakis. Prescience.
I see. She'll look at Shanti. How is he doing? Truthfully.
He is very dehydrated, my lady. And I do believe
that at least some of the delirium is a bit of a cause of that. I
And she would just like sort of pry open the doctor's eyes a bit and like flash a light briefly. um,
Doctor, how much melange did you imbibe?
Yes. Remember your training? The blue tinge that can be found in the tear duct? Not in the whites of the eyes. It is actually the flesh that changes color. When the patient consumes as much as the doctor has, let's just say 10, 11 meals worth. My stomach hurts.
My lady, we should probably get him to the lab. I'd like to inject some stabilizing medications to bring the fever down. I'm a bit worried that in the advanced stage of dehydration that he's in, that maybe there could be some complications to his brain.
I concur, but I don't think that right now in my state I am qualified to do so. So take it for what it's worth, Lady Cassandra.
Doctor, maybe you shouldn't help me right at this juncture.
Yes, I remember when we were standing by the flowers, you told me not to tell you what to do in that tone of voice. I apologize. I am trying to be a better man.
Cassandra will just nod and she will say, Are you certain that you cannot? Are you certain that you can't give him what he needs here? Does he?
I would like
he must be moved.
I would like to run a few tests. I truthfully, my lady, I have not. I mean, obviously, we have studied. You know, the doctor has let me study the effects of this much melange on your mother, but she is someone with training and conditioning and the experience to handle all of that. I don't know what this would do to someone without that training, and I would like to run some tests just to see if there is any lasting damage or anything that needs to be ameliorated, but I don't have those tools here in this cell.
I understand.
It's a great word, ameliorate.
She will step away and specifically contact Raul and say, Raul, I would like your men to relocate the doctor to the lab under guard and restrained. Apparently his condition is such that he has ingested a degree of spice only seen in very few, and he does not have the training to withstand such levels for any length of time. It is Shanti's belief that he will need to be monitored and studied more closely. Yes, his brain is melting, is what she says.
Hooray. I will have him moved under guard. Have this always cleared.
Thank you.
I imagine as Cassandra was saying that, almost as if she was talking about her child who got into too much sugar and now he has a stomach ache. And the doctor feels very much like Cassandra's not mad, but just disappointed, which is worse.
Oh no.
We will have him moved, but he is to be kept under guard and restrained at all times. Is that understood?
Yes, of course, my lady. Again, I'm just going to need to draw some blood and,
And she says, like, just makes gestures of doing tests.
Yeah.
Lady, heed my words. I know it sounds like I am hysterical. I feel hysterical, but just I just don't want you to forget, because it's like when you wake up from a dream and you know it so well when you first awaken and it just drifts away like sand in the wind. I just don't forget, or take it, talk to your mother, or I don't know what you can do with this information, but I don't understand it fully. Maybe you can.
Oh, trust me, Doctor. I will not forget it. With that, she'll step away and let the guards do what they need to do. Let Shanti do what she needs to do. And that's basically all she needed from the doctor. She doesn't have much else to say at this point.
is she heading back to her room then?
I think at this juncture, yes, it's late enough. There's not much else
Okay.
that she can do.
So, as she does, she would get approached by Arietta, who I believe was the name of your handmaid, and she's holding like a black envelope with let's say it's a violet wax seal. My lady, this was found within your laundry that came in today.
In my laundry.
Yes.
And
We've had it scanned with the poison spoofer, and as far as we can tell, there's nothing amiss. But we did not think it wise to open without bringing it to you first.
Of course, I do appreciate you bringing this to me, and that is what I was going to ask, actually. And she'll take the envelope. Can never be too careful. Thank you. And she'll
Of course, my lady.
she'll allow her to get back to her work and step aside to.
Yeah.
She'll step into private to open the letter. Is there a symbol embossed in the wax, or is there anything noteworthy?
Yeah, I'm going to say it is a symbol of a bee. And you know that to be the symbol of House Evaneth.
Yep, I did recognize that the moment you said bee, so...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, great. Well then, she will, quietly, open the letter then.
So, the letter is written kind of with a shaky hand in an almost helter-skelter sort of way. And it says quite simply, my love, soon we will be together. I'm nearer than you think. I'm always watching, and I cannot wait to fulfill the promise that was made so long ago. And then there's just
Panic button.
you know, and then there's just like you know, just sort of one of those like Celtic knots of like undying love and unity.
Okay. Well, that's getting turned over to security immediately. Yeah, she will immediately call Raul and inform him of the letter and its contents. We have a problem.
Okay. He'll like go to meet you in private and look very confused when you explain and show him the letter and hand it back because he's like, this is a level of explanation that I don't have. I was not briefed on your personal life.
This has nothing to do with my personal life. Whoever this is deranged. This was found in my laundry, Raul. They are on board.
Well, they have an agent on board.
At the very least. I don't need this right now. Well, I'm not certain how we can...
I can make some calls and cross-references, but you don't have any idea who this is. It's just a single deranged individual. Because a single deranged individual is a very large security sweep. If I have more details, that will make this much easier.
I don't know if I have any to give, is the problem.
Fair enough.
This is as much a surprise to me as it is to you. I know of my house's of our house's previous dealings with House Evanesque, but this is not typical. This is not how one responds.
No.
I know we are already being as vigilant as we can. And I don't... I don't fault anyone for this. Certainly, other than the person who somehow managed to slip this in. But I at least wanted you, as the chief of security here, to be aware of the situation.
Tells me several things. It was in your laundry, which means that's as close as they could get to you, because they would try to put it closer if they could. Which means whoever this person is at least semi-aware of security rotation, which means it needs to be slightly changed. Whoever this is also is aware that getting close to you will probably end up with us shooting first and asking questions later. They're also versed on the history of your house, our house, and whatever royal entanglements, which again, I am not versed on the history of the house in that manner, for it is not in my list of duties at this time. I'm versed in what it is to know our enemies, but not necessarily marriage proposals or previous marriage proposals. So I will contact your father on the matter expediently and have those records transferred.
Of course.
From there, they're saying things that are improbable. They can't always be watching, unless it is someone like your handmaid or her staff.
I trust Arietta, but
then I would go through her associates, because they're the ones that are closest to you with the most amount of clearance currently. Other than that, everyone else has been rotated on a regular basis. The men-at-arms are rotated on a regular basis. It's clearly not myself or Samuel, and it cannot be the doctors, or that violates their conditioning.
yeah. Well, thank you. I, as ever, I trust you to be able to handle.
Can I keep the letter, or
whatever comes,
or do you need it?
Yes, please. Whatever you can glean from it. I don't want to look at it right now.
Sure, not a problem.
I won't keep you any longer.
That is fine. You look like you need sleep. I recommend trying to get
if I can get any.
I can have men posted inside your room, and you can try to take something to relax. Probably, I would not recommend spice.
I'm a little leery of it at the moment myself.
Yes.
I'll do my best.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you again.
You're welcome. Raul will take the letter. I have a coded language communication specialty. Are there anything coded messages? Are there anything else I can glean from the letter reading it myself, or would you like me to make a roll?
Let's see. Why don't you make a roll?
So the scene in which I start the letter myself, I will use my passive scrutiny to glean actually, I will glean where the wax and where the contents of the letter originate from as my bit of information. Like,
okay.
Where would you get this particular? Because clearly these are not normal layouts for how we would exchange letters. This is clearly designed to stand out, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
With the so you would know that again the specific let's just say from the slight discoloration of the paper or something like that, you know that because it's not that pure matte black, that you know that this paper has been exposed to sun and gotten washed out a little bit, which you can infer means that at least it was it began on Arrakis before it came here, however it came here. So at the very least, its journey began somewhere on Arrakis. It is very much a thing where letter writing of this nature is sort of an old world kind of way to communicate. It is something that is considered safe in a way because, letters can't be hacked. It is a bit more difficult to trace the source of where a physical object came from than again, a computer source message or something to that effect.
There's more steps involved in the tracing, so it takes a longer time.
Yeah. All right, hang on a sec, because what did you get in your...
I got 2 successes.
Did you make the roll?
Message roll.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say it was a difficulty of 1, so you guys can gain a momentum.
Sounds good.
So basically, I will say that you can tell specifically that again, the way that the letter was written, it was written with a very heavy hand. There was a lot of emotion that was poured into this, and it seems obvious to you that this was a person who was deranged or unstable in some way, because this was written with that sense of, this is of the utmost importance. This has to be known, it has to be read, it has to be heard. But it is suspicious that, like, it is written so, like, with penmanship that is so sloppy. Because if it was written by a noble hand, like, you would think that it would be, a more elegant script, or even something that has a code within it. So if anything, to you, with your knowledge of coded messages, and specifically hanging out with the nobility and reading over their letters and how they write and all of that stuff, like, you've intercepted enough vague notes that you find it weird that, like, this is a surface thing, and doesn't seem to have an underlying code. Like, that is suspicious. So, like, it's a thing where, you again, you might wonder, like, is this being presented as it is?
Okay. So it started on Arrakis. It spent some time in the sun, which means it was probably, materials are probably bought on Arrakis. Written, not the appropriate penmanship. Okay. He will then put in a request to. I probably wouldn't have to go to the Lord himself. I'd probably just go to the Lord's secretary or the family record keeper to, like, match the sigil or any outstanding matrimonial promises that have since been rejected that would go in line with this, because he doesn't keep a working knowledge of every noble interaction that deals with somebody's marriage being, like, that would eat up all his brain space. He wouldn't have time to learn how to use a sword.
Your lovely Mentat, great to speak to about this in the downtime and everything. Because record keeping is kind of their job. Super great.
So that is the next thing he will do. All right.
Is there anything else? Okay, so then in that case, I think for right now, we will take a 5-10 minute break, get some more water, go bio, do all the things before we get into dawn of the final day. Yeah, everybody, we are having a poll that you can all vote in. If you have enjoyed the roleplay so far, you guys, the viewers, please nominate your favorite player tonight. They will get an extra advancement point at the end of the session. Advancement points are kind of like experience points in the system. Which reminds me, Doc, I'm giving you an AP because the Spice Fever Dream is totally along your ambitions, and that was incredible. Likewise, Paul, please take one for that amazing speech. That was incredible. And Allie, you get one because, like, the heart versus political, that was so subtle and so good. So love to all of you. So freaking great. Oh Jesus. Holy shit! What the fuck? Wow, that's a lot of subs. Okay, now we have to do something. By the way, I also decided, those of you who have subscribed, you want to message me or Ian with some names, we will have them be NPC assets for the players. So then you guys get to be a part of the game also in like creating cool stuff for our players to use, utilize, or fight against, which is super, super fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so please do vote for the player nominated for tonight. So that way they can get more advancement points. Otherwise, we're gonna head on break and we'll be back in 10 minutes. All right? Bye.
Arrakis. Dune. A planet that is both a volatile desert wasteland and the most precious jewel in the universe. For it is only on Arrakis where the spice melange can be found. The spice has shaped humanity for a millennia, and it is the foundation that makes interstellar travel possible. Fortunes rise and fall as quickly as the sands shift on Arrakis. It is a place where a smile and a quiet word can cut as easily as a crysknife, and nothing is what it seems. Welcome to Dune.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our game. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, so basically, we are now at dawn of the final day. It has been, the 3 days have passed at this point. The doctor had been sedated due to heavy dehydration and, the aforementioned brain melting. Shanti remained by his side the entire rest of the evening, and making certain to carefully and closely monitor all of his vitals. Raul, your guards report that there was nothing untoward or strange that happened. Like, she was just legitimately very anxious that he did something really terrible. I am going to say that for her efforts, the doctor no longer has the feverish condition. You now have the stable trait, which is great. Whether or not that means applies to mental health is a completely different thing. But at least you're physically okay.
I'll take that.
Now, yeah, so I guess, if you want, we can start the scene, there. Again, this is, the point where it's do or die, so far there is nothing.
I set my chrono for 1 standard Arakan day and watch the seconds tick by before I start my job. That's what Raul does when he gets up. Just puts a little countdown timer on. But he will also change up the guard rotation, like I said earlier, and make sure that there is always a guard shadowing Cassandra. Actually, he'll put Samuel on directly shadowing Cassandra.
Okay.
That way, if something happens.
I will also say, Raul, that Rand, the swordmaster for Dimitri Visperus, comes to find you and asks for, a training session.
Sure. I will show up and do some training, and by training, I assume he wants to exchange more information / have a conversation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
So basically, you were in this, that dojo-like space, again, using the practice blades to, the slow blade is the one that penetrates the shield and all that. At this point, each of you knows the other's fighting style pretty well, so the exchanges, are way more of just that dance where each of you already knows the steps the other's going to take, so it's less like brutal and just more that beautiful fluid thing, because there is that shared respect that has built between you. And indeed, I will say that I will assign that respect trait to Rand as that gesture of how you guys have built up that relationship.
Sure.
So, in between blows, you're leaned in very close to each other. So, there's a lot of rumors going around about your doctor and the death of the son of our liege.
About Shadon's demise and the Sook Doctor? I've heard them.
Mm-hmm. Thoughts?
They were very buddy-buddy. He could not hurt him directly. Would violate his conditioning.
That was my thought.
I have conducted an investigation and have found that the explosion looks to be another faulty missile from the house that supplies us when Shadon had his particular resupply here. But I have not released that openly yet.
And which house is that?
What is our rival's house name? Just fell into my brain just now.
Evanesque.
Yeah, Evanesque. They have been sending more and more faulty equipment our way. We're fairly sure it's on purpose.
His grip slips a little bit, so you manage to land a blow from that as he just sort of puzzles over that information. That is unexpected. I was led to believe that Evanesque was a loyal house.
They're loyal to the Harkonnen. They are at odds with us personally. You are aware of the history of the current lady of the house, are you not? And the sad, unfortunate tale of her brother?
I've heard rumor, not a whole lot. Again, the marriage game tends to be outside
incredibly
my house.
Obnoxious. Oh no, I hate it. I hate it. Hate it. Hate it. You know they tried to get me married.
Thanks, I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, that's a story for another time. But
oh man,
Evanesque, yeah, I can tell you it's a story for another time. Evanesque was originally engaged to the previous heir, and that clearly fell through when he passed. They attempted to reinitiate the arrangement with Lady Cassandra, and that did not work. And since then, the list of faulty equipment that's been sent to us has he'll when they take the break to get a piece of water, he'll basically pull up the files that he has and be like, this is the percentage prior to the engagement, which is well within parameters. This is the list of faulty equipment since the engagement has fallen through. And he'll notice it's 16 times higher than it should be. And it just seems that Evanesque sent the wrong faulty detachment on the wrong day.
What do you want for me to get a copy of that to pass on to my lord? Because we have been in the process of negotiating with House Evanesque with regards to resupplying some of our ornithopters, but if they have been unreliable to someone who has shown us honor and respect, I imagine my lord would have a
less than favorable disposition towards them.
This is a situation where we are all suddenly in the same boat, for lack of a better term, as the joke would be. When our liege comes to investigate what happens to Shadon, we want to make sure that none of us are responsible for this action. Because I know your liege doesn't want to be blamed for this. I know my liege had nothing to do with it. And it seems that this negotiation seems to be heading in the right direction, shall we say. Doesn't look like your head's no longer on the chopping block, which I was appalled by.
I mean, I knew what I was signing up for when I agreed to be my lord's lieutenant, but I assumed I would be dying for him in battle, and not to placate the whims of a child.
I find it very interesting, the Bene Gesserit's opinion and view on duty. It's very self-fulfilling. They twist the usage of that word from time to time. But go ahead.
The witches do tend to enjoy weaving spells with words and fighting with lies as much as they do with fists and feet. I have been speaking with the Bene Gesserit that safeguards the Lady Dahlia. I believe Lady Tharsha is her name.
How is she?
She seems to believe that the doctor holds some key of information that you are secreting away from us. And that
the doctor is a drug-addled, almost spice-brained fool whose foolishness sometimes makes our house look very bad. And the fact that he was the last one to see Shadon alive generates its own problem. Their public displays of affection on the deck doesn't look great.
Oh, they were lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And he just kind of gives a look of just like, I don't understand rich people.
Oh no, yeah, like I don't get. They have more time than sense. They have more
Pretty
time
much.
than sense.
I'll drink to that, brother.
So I'll drink to it as well. I'm surprised you hadn't heard that particular rumor. He decided to publicly display so right before Shadon left. It's fairly common knowledge on the ship. But I don't believe at this time, once the doctor has sobered up, he and I will have a very long conversation, if you understand what I am saying. But trying to talk to him while he is drug-addled doesn't do anything for me, which is why he's been spirited away, aka he needs time to regain his sensibilities.
Of course. That you are willing to give him a second chance at all is really admirable, and I think speaks highly of your character.
It is the lady's wishes I serve at her will. She is much more merciful than I. I would not be displeased, but I do want to know what he has to say once he is sober. Because, as you know, any drug-addled conversation is less than reliable. But when it comes to standing for what's going to happen during the situation, when the Harkonnens come to deal with what happened to Shadon, making sure we're all in it together so no one is throwing someone else into the bus to try to get out from under whatever's going to happen is what I ask of you when to take a copy of that to your liege.
Of course. And he would sort of do that warrior's shape where it's like that clasp around the wrist or whatever.
Yeah. He does. Raul will ask how does the marriage proposal seem to be going?
I mean, the Lady Dahlia seems amenable to shifting resources and stuff. My lord is still open to marrying your lady, but the Lady Cassandra does not seem to return any of those thoughts or desires. But
she hasn't mentioned it to me because, again, I don't play in that arena, but I'll ask her.
I mean, again, I know my lord has a reputation, but he is an incredibly honorable man, and I am proud to serve one such as he, as there are. You and I both know there are far worse masters in this world.
Many, many worse. I will speak to Lady Cassandra on the matter, but yes, no, and he'll make a copy of the document and just send it over to him so he can take it to his liege. Next time we spar, I'll explain the lovely marriage game that I was almost drawn into, for it was not on my list of fun and.
Perhaps that should be a conversation held over alcohol.
Perhaps you are very correct. I will tell you when we're done wrapping these negotiations up over a drink.
So, with that, I'm going to say, Raul and Cassandra get little dings on their communicates, or communinet, that thing. Little communication beads. Yeah! That there is a ship asking for permission to land.
Perhaps this is the guest we're waiting on.
Let us hope so.
She'll suggest seeing them to a docking bay that's been secured.
Okay. So, do you guys go, and do you take the doctor or not?
How lucid is the doctor?
I'm going to say that, again, at this point, he is not feverish.
Okay.
So, it is, Mark, where are you at?
Well, my character sheet does say stable.
In the interest of including everyone, I say we bring the doctor.
Brave. Well,
right.
So, yeah.
When, so basically, you guys, and are you bringing anybody else with, or is it just, like, the three of you and, your personal attendants or whatever?
I'll bring Samuel, and then I'll have my men-at-arms asset secure the way in and out of this particular place.
Okay, cool.
And I will also have, I will also use the surveillance stuff to scan for surveillance to make sure nobody else is watching this conversation.
Okay. As far as you're aware, there isn't any other equipment in the hangar, just because that because it is so frequently like in open space and everything, and just loud from ships and machines and stuff like that, like it's just a shitty place to have any sort of surveillance equipment because there's just too much background interference.
Okay.
So oddly, it is one of the safer places to have clandestine meetings and conversations on the ship, as long as you could just dodge the hangar crew and stuff. So basically, you have you arrive and you see the deck crew, again securing the ship and making sure everything's powered down appropriately and blah blah blah. It is the shuttle that you recognize. It seems a bit dinged up than it was. There are some scorch marks from obvious weapons exchange, but clearly it has made the better or had the better of the exchange, as it's here in one piece and not in many pieces floating in space. So the door opens and the stairs descend, and a figure steps out. They are wearing, just a generic looking kind of jumpsuit of like any sort of smuggler's crew person would wear, and seem to have basically just a series of tattoos, short cropped hair, and just kind of this very cocky devil-may-care smile. Ajax is tattooed across their knuckles. They are just incredibly attractive. And so they kind of like scan around the area for a minute and look down and relax visibly, seeing the doctor, though there is just sort of Doc, what is your state right now? Like, how do you look?
Well, I do look a little worse for wear. My hair's disheveled, and I'm not wearing the typical, official physician clothes that I normally would wear. Probably something a little bit more relaxed, kind of t-shirt kind of situation. Definitely looks stripped of titles visually, but upon seeing them, I would also kind of, I don't know, stand a little bit taller and feel a little more relaxed himself. I'm clearly not in a state of hysteria.
Yeah. They kind of look down and back to Allie with just this simple, he does not look well.
Yes, but he is not unharmed, or he is unharmed. She would say, and truthfully, this is more to do with not having his usual entertainments.
I see. For what I have to show you, or I should say, whom, I do not know if you want so many eyes to see or not, but they are on board the vessel.
She can have the crew, like the deck crew, clear the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Just have them.
Yeah.
Take
I
5,
mean, they
guys.
look yeah, it's one of the things where like these guys are grunts who like love their job and enjoy machines and like working machines and stuff, but they're also just like, I've had a 20-hour shift sure, let's get drinks. You know?
See you later, fellas.
She'll make sure the deck is clear before, motioning to continue.
Theron would look at Raul. If you could help me, please.
He'll cock an eyebrow, but head over.
So, you get on board the ship, and there's two things. One is the very obviously pass the fuck out body of the person that Theron is posing as. It is, you can't really tell if they're alive or dead, but they are very much not conscious. But the other is a woman who has all of the markings and stylings of a smuggler. So she has wild blonde hair that's just kind of like braided up, half of it with like the rest flying free, and wears the heavy leathers and has all of the various accoutrements that go with doing illegal work for a living. With your knowledge of the scene, that power, you know this to be Raquel, who is an infamous smuggler on Arrakis. Like some of the, it is rumored that she is like Queen of the Pirates or something like that. And she is currently hogtied in a very undignified way on the floor of this shuttle. And Theron kind of like gives you a shrug and is that look of like arms or feet.
He'll just kind of pick up by the middle of the bundle and, like, unless this person weighs a whole lot, he's just gonna try to heft them himself. Like, he's trained how to carry people and they're already hog tied. That's not really that hard.
Yeah.
So he'll carry them like they're a package from the grocery store. Just to,
And it's very clear that like Raquel is like livid and is just has a gag in her mouth and is just like screaming like the worst obscenities muffled through this rag, just will not stop, livid. And there just kind of looks like really shy and is like, so the doctor can go free now, right?
Oh, you're looking to trade the doctor for the smuggler.
That is what I said.
No, there's a difference between going free. You are correct. It is the Lady Cassandra's call, not mine. I explain who we have in possession right now, which will make our house look incredibly good. I don't have an issue letting go of our doctor for this matter. We already have a replacement.
Well, Cassandra will look at the doctor. This is a difficult decision to make, but I had thought perhaps that should Theron return with whoever it was that we were meant to. I suppose I'm not certain what this is for exactly, other than what we're turning this person in for points in our favor.
I mean, you.
She is trading.
I'm sorry.
My
lady. You wanted more information about what Shannon was doing, right? And who could be suspects to kill him, right? This person has information.
Well, I am
And I want to
glad
be
that.
clear.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I forgive
Oh.
me, please, for interrupting.
it's-
I just wanted to remind you that the deal that I made was for the doctor to be free. I am
know.
still
And
yours to do with
the doctor
whatever.
is, and she'll motion whatever guards they have on the doctor to ease off. The doctor is free to do as he would. If he wishes to, I would prefer to have him remain, to have him come to his senses and remain in the house's service, with some understanding that he would have to earn back our trust. But I am not a tyrant. If it is his wish to no longer remain in this house's service, then he may do as he will.
Theron, you came back.
Of course. I couldn't leave you. Not after the what happened. I just I want you to be happy.
And how can I leave if you're here? How can I do that? There's no option in my mind.
Theron would very softly walk over to the doctor and would again just in the body of this other person with those tattooed knuckles very lightly caress his cheek. I chose to do this, and you gave me that choice. Do you not understand what that means to me?
Yeah. I do understand. It's there are many choices that any of us could have made, and I made my choice, and you did as well.
Might I impress something upon both of you at the moment, please?
Of course, my lady. I'm sorry.
Sure.
Doctor, in making your
Yes.
choice, you removed whatever choice the rest of us had. I want you to understand that. Had you come to me, had you spoken to me, I perhaps could have made a suggestion or a few offers that would have been amenable to all parties. So I do want you to understand the position you have left me in.
Yes, quite uncomfortable.
This is not a prison. And I am not in the practice of holding people against their will. I want you to understand that.
Yes, I do understand that, and I do apologize to the lady for creating a situation that would put me in a prison cell for 3 days. I also understand that these choices are very difficult, But you must also understand that this person has made a major movement to gain your trust in trading a life for a life. And I hope that matters. My fate on this ship and my fate in this house, I've seen all of the permutations, all of them. It all comes back to the same orbit. I don't make these choices lightly, but when God pries his eye open and looks me directly into my heart, I listen. And I will not be treated like a prisoner. And if that means that I must go, I worry that Theron will not be safe. Because Theron will become the object of your distrust in me.
Theron
No, you
has proved more. I'm sorry, Lady Cassandra. I speak out of turn.
At this stage, I trust Theron more than I trust you.
Oh, yes.
Theron
Why,
kept
why
their
wouldn't you?
word. And I am not vindictive. I'm not going to punish Theron for your choices. I made an offer, and I will extend that offer still. That out there may not be safe. And perhaps we could work together for a mutual benefit for all of us.
Then what will the terms be? The mutual benefit.
Lady Cassandra, may I?
What are your thoughts, Raul?
My thoughts are the doctor seems to misunderstand his position in this conversation. Theron has granted you freedom. At this point in time, that freedom extends to being free. You have no privileges on this ship. You are not the ship's current doctor, according to the logs of this house. Shanti has taken your position as the physician that treats to us at this point in time. You are as useful as any other line cook in the cafeteria to us.
Yes, it's
You
something
are
that
free,
you've...
but you are not privileged, and you continue to mistake the two.
Yeah, this is something that I've been reminded on a fairly daily basis by you. Shanti teaching her the veiled threats and the jokes about training my replacement. This has been a long time coming, and finally the plans are revealed. Good show, old boy. I'm not trying to establish my... I'm not trying to establish any privilege. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure that this person is safe in the arms of you, Raul.
They will not be under Raul's jurisdiction.
So long as anyone is under the security of Raul's security detail, they will be.
I'm not certain, Doctor.
I'm not arguing for my position. I'm not arguing my position here. I'm not trying to get my job back. I've been stripped down to my very essence. I'm not trying to seek power. I'm merely trying to make good on a life that I've wasted.
I will drop the body off to Samuel And I will actually turn and walk over to Theron and start talking to Theron as they're having their conversation. I'll let them play out what they're doing.
So yeah, like basically when Cassandra had spoken, like Theron kept their eyes downcast, you know, again defaulting to that very like submissive like respect for the nobles in front of, you know, in a public space and everything like that. So yeah, when Raul approaches them again, like similarly, they keep their eyes downcast, and will not say anything until directly addressed.
First thing I'll ask Theron to do is look up at him. I like to look someone in the eye when I'm speaking to them. What is it you want?
All I've wanted is to live. But now I more than that, I want the doctor to live and be happy, at least as much as anyone can be.
That is fair.
I feel responsible for this situation. So whatever.
Theron, the
whatever
first thing
is...
you need to learn about duty to a house is you are not responsible for any of that house's, for any of that house's higher-ups' actions, but you are responsible for cleaning up after them. Duty is an important matter. You have proven you are someone whose work I can trust. And he'll basically offer his hand and say, if you swear an oath of duty, I will take you at that word, and you will have nothing to fear from me. But I'm tired of trying to listen to a drug-addled idiot who pretends to be a doctor, try to dictate the pace and direction of this house any further.
They would look at the hand for a moment before looking back. With respect, sir, I can make an oath to you, but should I not make an oath to the Lady Cassandra first, as the liege?
She is the heir. If you make an oath to me, you will swear your oath to the Lord and then to her. Not necessarily to me in the first order, but he is going to ask me what it means for you to be able to secure that. And things will have to be explained to him. But you may swear an oath to Lady Cassandra as well. I cannot stop that. But they're going to spend their time arguing about the nuances of an agreement that can be hammered out in 5 minutes between people of honor. And Cassandra has that, and she will uphold oaths. Don't talk. Do not talk. You are free, but you are not free from consequence.
Yes, all things through Raul first. Theron, remember that.
That is not a true statement at all, Doctor.
Theron just kind of looks like they're not sure what to do here.
What you two are arguing here, not even asking Theron, who has proven to be an honorable individual, who said they will serve this house, what they want in the matter. Cassandra's father
if you would allowed me
to speak. I'm sorry, Lady Cassandra.
If you had allowed me to get to that, I would have. That was always my intention, Raul. But I wanted to... ensure that the doctor understood where I stood on this matter. In his actions, he has displayed that... Here, let me... And she'll kind of wave off for a moment. Doctor, how long have you served House Lucinor?
As long as I can remember.
And how long have you eased things for my mother?
Every day. Every day. For years. That woman is a treasure. And... yeah. She's fun.
I have always endeavored to listen when you have had something to say. And I have trusted your judgment on more than one occasion in the matters of your expertise, because that is your expertise. I do the same with Raul. I do the same with all that serve under the house. But in what you've done, even regardless of putting the house at danger, you have displayed that you do not trust me. And I think that is the deepest wound of all. Theron?
Yes, my lady.
What is it? I echo Raul's question in all sincerity. What is it you desire? What future do you see for yourself? Be it with us or be it elsewhere. I am not going to hold you against your will. That was never my intention, and I had never wanted to come to any of this.
As I said to Raul, my lady, all I've wanted is to just be able to live. Truthfully, I have not really thought beyond that point. Sincerely, it does not make a difference to me. I have known cruelty for the majority of my existence, and they would look over at the doctor and kind of smile. He showed me kindness, so I, more than anything at this point, I really want him to be able to live and be free and be able to be happy in whatever way that he can. And so long as that happens, then I don't really care what happens to me.
That is admirable. I understand this position is difficult, and given your experience, I do not blame you for not truly knowing what it is you desire. My offer is this. Remain with us. We will give you what safety we can. You will find no cruelty here. Not if I can help it, not if I have any say over the matter. And then, down the line, if you decide that this is not what you want, if you realize what it is you want, there will always be a shuttle.
My lady, are you certain the skill set that I have is very valuable? You would be taking a great risk in allowing me to are you quite certain, my lady?
truthfully, when the doctor allowed you to depart, I was concerned. Not only because of how valuable your skill set is, though that really, truly was minimal in my mind, more that, given everything that has happened and what you witnessed here, I was concerned about what that might bring back on the house should that information ever escape. That is powerful leverage. That said, in returning for the doctor, you have at least in the immediate, proven that I don't think I have to be concerned with that, at least not through any willful act of your own. I do think it would be safer for you here with us. But I am not so stone-hearted that I cannot see that it would be cruel of me to hold you here against your will.
My lady, you are so kind and so generous, and truly, I do not deserve this.
Yes, you
Not
do.
after.
Yes, you do. Cassandra,
If you
the
did-
Lady Cassandra is quite possibly one of the greatest hosts that you could ever run into. The fact that she has opened up her house to you is not a light and small thing, and temporary at that. Give you the option to leave if you would like. There's something kind, graceful, and safe in that, and Cassandra
No.
here gives it to
Um,
you, and yes, you do deserve it.
I understand the weight of everything, my dearest one. And truly, again, I think that I understand in greater depths and details the extent of the risk that she is undertaking, and what she would be giving up. But for my part, it would be an honor and a privilege to serve you, my lady. I just, if I may ask, and she looks towards the doctor for looking to Cassandra again. I would, if I may be so bold, if that is permissible, I would really like it if he stayed also.
I'm not kicking him out. He's allowed to stay if he so desires. He will have to earn back my trust. But that is something I'm willing to extend, given the circumstances.
I've done some things, Theron, with letting you go. I have compromised the ship's security to an unfathomable degree. It's understandable why Raul is so angry. And I have squandered my position and the trust of the Lady Cassandra. I am not fit to serve as Sook Doctor due to my actions, but my actions come from the heart, but it does not matter why. The what is what's important here with this house, and that's where the strength, Lucinor, the shield, the wall, that's where that comes from. So, Lady Cassandra, if you will allow me a probationary status on this ship, I would feel uncomfortable after this conversation continuing my duties as Sook Doctor. And after what I have seen in those visions, I think that the universe has become much smaller.
Yes. Your former assistant will retain the position of doctor aboard with us presently.
She's ready.
And
Shanti, she's ready. I've purposely been holding back telling you that she is ready for assignment because, frankly, I think she is an asset here on the ship. And if she were to be fully ready, then she would have to be assigned elsewhere. But now that
understand that this is not absolution.
Yes.
This is not absolution. This is a chance to prove that you can be trusted again.
I have a problem with substances.
No.
It's like you can see the sun on Arrakis.
I know, it's shocking. Especially to you, Raul.
Yes, this is my shocked face.
I need to get clean. And I really have to kick. And I can't do that. I can't do that while serving. I've been functioning. And with having my house and my heart near me, maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll get better.
I hope you can. And she'll turn to
Theron.
She'll turn to Theron and go. She'll say, "Do you think you can help him with that?"
Theron would reach out a long, slender hand and take the doctor's hand in theirs, and just give it that light squeeze of reassurance before looking up to Cassandra. He has given me more strength to endure than I thought I was capable of. So returning that strength and giving him everything I have is the least that I can do for someone who has been so brave and such a force in my life.
Then I'm heartened to hear it.
Your cover
for
story
now,
of addiction and the death of your lover Shadan are already circulating, Doctor. Lean into them to save face for the house.
I don't want to save face, but I will save face for the house, not for myself. I do think that maybe some little extra security around me, not to protect those against me, but to protect me from all of you, might be in order, Raul. And if I could ask one favor, Cassandra. I know that I will not be Sook Doctor for now, but I think that your mother will be upset if I don't at least assist Shanti with her treatment. I'll kind of like I'll take Theron's hand and kind of squeeze it in my chest.
I agree. the last thing she needs right now is that much of a sudden change. Of course.
Yeah.
You've taken good care of her so far. I trust you to continue to do so. That much I can give you.
I have a lot more to learn from your mother. Well, it'll be good for me too.
So at that, you get a another beep on your communicator that a film book has been sent from Carthag, the seat of Glossu Raban.
Okay. Thank you. I suppose I should see what that's all about. We'll see that you are, that quarters are made up for you, Theron. I have something to see to, I fear.
Yes. And, my lady, Raquel, this woman, she was deeply involved in Shadon's, you need to talk to her. And she would also, or sorry, they would also like look towards Raul as they say that.
We will see it done.
If I may, the doctor's gonna take a really thick, long, needled syringe and kind of place it at the feet. I'm talking a big gauge, and place it at the feet of Raul. And as I'm like standing up and looking up at him, I'll say thank you for not having me end up hanging myself.
Well,
There's always the airlock.
don't make me regret it. He'll take the needle.
So, Cassandra, you are going to be given a film book recording from Gloss Over Vahn. Are you bringing anyone with you to see it?
I mean, no, she'll watch it herself for now.
Okay. So, for those unfamiliar with the Dune universe, the film book is a imprint on a shingo wire that plays a projected film. Usually, these are like lessons or stories or something like that are taught to students or something like that. But for the purposes of having a cool recording, this is a personalized message from the Liege of Arrakis to one of his servants. So, Cassandra, as you open, you turn on the book, and the projection begins to come to life. You see the face of Glossu Raban
It is, you've heard, you have seen him before, and you have also heard tales of his brother, Fade Rotha, who is known as being beautiful and legendary as a fighter. Raban is everything his brother is not. He is stocky. He has the face that looks like it was carved from rock. It is scarred and deep in his brow is very deeply knit in a very clear, controlled rage. You can see that there is blood on his hands, as if he ripped something apart with those hands somewhat recently. And when he looks forward at the camera, you feel as if those eyes are looking directly at you. Even though you know this is a pre-recorded message, it is very clear that this was intended for you and your eyes to see. When he speaks, his voice is like the sound of gravel, like glass nails crunching underneath bare feet, and his violence bubbling beneath the surface. I have taken these days to think about what I would say and do, not just to you, but to everyone who was involved. Chadon was my and you see he catches himself before he says the word. And there is that brief glimmer of emotion for just a second before he is returned to the beast. He was mine. And now he is gone. And that loss will be felt through all of Arrakis. I am going to be increasing the spice quotas by at least 12.5%. I expect that you will see to it that those dogs that are currently mewling at your feet for favors will be able to handle the new quotas. I expect that you will bring me the heads of each and every one responsible for the death of Chadon. And I expect the camera pulls out, and you can see in his hand, he is holding petting a very familiar lock of hair. As the camera pulls out further, and you realize it is the hair of your mother. I expect you will do everything in your power to see that my wishes are made reality, because you know intimately the price of failure. The camera cuts out. And that's where we're gonna end game today, guys. I want to thank Salt King for making our sub goal, because originally he was not gonna have a hostage. And that has made things far more exciting. All right. Well now. I guess let's go around, talk to our players, maybe give your thoughts about where your characters leave the games. Some stuff all happened, and whatever. It's all cool. So yeah, Paul, let's start it off with you, man.
I miss my mentat.
Right?
I know. I know what game I'm playing. I know the stakes all the time. It just pays to be the head of security. I feel like I'm gonna have some interesting conversations with Cassandra later. Like, this is what I shield you from constantly, and you wonder why I'm a dick. Like, it was the day you got a tape from a Vahn. That was Wednesday for me.
Where can we find you, Paul?
You can find me at PaulMartin6 on Twitter. You can find me clearly here on Weave the Tale. I'm also on the Response Team Omicron podcast for Guild of the Phoenix for Lancer that's starting up. I believe our first episode comes out in November now. The good stuff there. And you can find me doing One Shot Wednesdays. I ran one last Wednesday for SCP running Cult. So I'm around. I got some other projects in the work that as soon as I can talk about them, I will.
Awesome. Allie.
Well, so that was a lot. Cassandra knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. In any case, though, I'm Alexandra Pitchford. You can find me at Lexi Phoenix on Twitter. I'm Shay Darksong on Twitch, and I'm here every episode. I work with and moderate for the Dungeon Scrawlers, which will be tomorrow on Twitch at Dungeon Scrawlers. So keep an eye out for that.
Awesome. Mark.
Oh boy. My name is Mark Q. Anderson from Mondo Kane Publishing. I play Dr. Maharil, who's in a much better position than he was a day ago, but not so great of a position as he was in the beginning of the game. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Marchosius with 5s instead of S's. And yeah, Jen, this was, as always, week to week. You are a fantastic GM, and I want to thank you for running this for us.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, hi, I'm Jen. I go by SavageSparrow on the internet. I had such an incredible time getting back into game. I've missed all of you so very much, and a huge shout out to Jace, our wonderful Mentat, who again is not a bit under the weather tonight. But I really they've just been incredibly strong and consistent as a player, and we're very deeply missed. But yeah, like I love playing with you guys so much. It's so great. If you enjoy our game, if you are new to our game, the previous sessions are all on YouTube. Please do catch up. There's been a lot of crazy spicy hijinks, and not just related to melange. Also, I want to thank our lovely subs for tonight for adding that spicy twist. That was incredible. It's so much fun to get to, throw curveballs into things. Yeah, I stream Pathfinder on our sister channel, Penny for a Tale, every Sunday. And next Tuesday afternoon, before this game, I will be streaming Nautilus, I believe it's called. And I believe it's also on Weave, but it might be on Penny. But anyway, you can check the Penny for a Tale Discord network because that has our full schedule. And is it subject to my personal error? Otherwise, SavageSparrow.com is my awesome website. Thank you guys so much for coming, and we'll see you next week.
Big shout out to Elliot, who's watching for the first time. And apparently there's a whole bunch of other people who are watching for the first time.
Yes!
So if you like this, go back to the older episodes on YouTube because they're all up right now.
Yep.
It's YouTube.
Also,
They are.
shout out to-
It's a.
Yep. If we're doing shout outs, also shout out to Wigglytuff who actually got to watch the stream. So there you go. There's that.
Yes! Yes! And also
And
shout
and
out
my
again.
friend Mitsuki.
Oh, yay! So many friends! I'm so happy. Also, Salt King, yay! Thank you for joining. And yeah, all right, time to get going. So let's go with the flow.